Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Thursday, the 30th of January, 2025. I am Delbridge, Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and this is your weekly status chat. Now living on Thursday instead of Friday to give people more chance to see it sometime during the day because we tend to post late some days when life gets in the way. Well, we have a pretty short show, I think, this week. What we're going to look at in particular is real estate, obviously. We're going to look at some market data. But before we get into that, let's just say, I don't know if you kept up with it, but there was some controversy dealing with the Chiefs game that put them into the Super Bowl. It's never a dull moment when you talk about football, politics, or economics. And of course, we got to talk about real estate, so let's get to it. If you like this content, please go to CallDelToSell.com, find the tab that says on YouTube, click it, and it'll open up a page of QR codes. There you can use a smartphone to scan and get to the YouTube page, or you can just mouse over and click it on a PC. There you'll be able to subscribe to this little button over here and click the notification bell so that YouTube will notify you when each Friday's blog has been uploaded. Thank you. All right, let's look at some historic data. I am taking you today to GNR, Greater Nashville Realtors, and we're looking at their monthly area home sales. Now, we want to go ahead and zoom a little bit closer in on this, and we'll see that these counties include Davidson, Cheatham, Dixon, Maury, Robertson, Rutherford, Sumner, Williamson, and Wilson County. So it's the greater Nashville area, kind of the center of the onion and the rings around it type of situation. So we want to look at this, go back to this. We're going to select last year's data, 2024. We'll zoom in on that real quick. Starting with January, it says that they had in those counties combined, we had 1886 closing of inventory of 8875. But what we're really going to concentrate in the end of the year from the start to the end is that number right there. Because people always ask me, kind of like, well, should I buy now? Should I buy now? What about the interest rates and all that? To me, it's more of a reality of where you are. Can you buy today rather than should you buy today? Because you need to live somewhere. We know we can count on inflation. We know that in general, it's not ironclad, but in general, real estate goes up and it goes up, and at least it's a store of value historically, if not sort of an asset builder. In fact, most people in the United States that have money, the greatest portion of it is on average attached to their homes and home ownership. And even if you didn't have any 401k or other monies, think about the number of people that are able then to potentially reverse mortgage off their house to get some income in their golden years. That's just one choice, not advocating for, but it just gives you an option. If you've rented your whole life, you've got nothing there, and you've still paid the bill. So we're going to look back at this. We started out here with this 460,000. I always look at the major significant digits first. That's in residential. Let's go all the way to the end of the year because we don't have all day and you don't want to hear me just ramble on incoherently. There we have our residential, and we're at 50 or 500,000. We had 2842 and 10109. We'll compare that back. It's a little bit more on inventory and on closing, but look at that price. We wanted to look at that again. 46 or 460, be the easiest, keep the significant digits, 460. So 10% of 460 would be 46. So we are roughly how much of a price on the median level up from 46 to 50? Well, that would be 4,004. So 50 would be 10%. So it's a little less than 10% in a year. In a year, if I calculated that right in my head. Of course, we got the other half, the other place, so it's probably around the area of 6% or so. Did you get 6% growth on anything you bought? Maybe your Nvidia that jumped up way high. Do you think that's going to hold? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to hold or not. I know gamers. I'm not a gamer. But I talk to gamers. I read what gamers say because I'm building a new machine, big water-cooled system upstairs to kind of take over all this that we have downstairs. But the reality I have with it is gamers are reporting that they're seeing a huge price increase in hardware on the video boards, but not seeing any real improvement in speed and performance. So they're like, why are we going up? Now, if you watched, I could tell you a story about a guy who builds boats. Anyway, that's a different one. Let me not chase that particular rabbit. Go to this. If you kind of look at it, pricing is somewhat related as a factor of how many CUDA cores in the GPU. It's just a simple rate. Okay, well, this one has 10,000. We do a ratio of that dollars to the 10,000 CUDA cores. It gives you a price. Take that same thing, put it on top of the next 50 series, whatever that you have, and I bet you come pretty much to the same price using advanced algebra that you would have where it's marketed at. It's just people aren't buying them. People are not seeing the benefit to that. So NVIDIA is up, and we have a lot of AI. We heard about DeepSeek. I don't know about DeepSeek. Pure speculation on my part. It's my son who's the machine learning expert, not me. So I just look at it like, so we have a little baby AI model that's going to feed off of the big boys of the Western models to train its model. It's going to be trained off of other people's work. That doesn't sound right to me, but it's supposed to be much better. I don't know. We'll find out. We will certainly find out. All right, so we're going to go back at this, and we want to look at our next little thing. Let's look at the Tennessee real estate market, housing market overall. This is the whole state. We just looked at the greater Nashville area. Now we're going to look at the whole state and see what the trends are. This is reported by Redfin. Right. Now look how much different we are. We're at 393,000, give or take. Let's go ahead and call that 400,000. What did we just see on the previous page? Let's flip it back. 500,000. So Nashville is an expensive place to live, so why not move to the outer rings, or perhaps even further in the outer rings to a nice quiet county. Number of houses sold 7,000, days on market 67, but you really see it's a steady increase over the past 3 years. We haven't seen any real disruption in the pricing. If we take it back 5 years, it's still a nice steady climb. Why am I pointing this out? Because I already asked you the question, or pointed to the question people ask me, is it a good time to buy? Is it not a bad time to buy? If you can't afford it, it's not a good time to buy. If you can't afford it and you can swing the numbers, it may be a good time to buy, maybe a good time to sell, maybe a good time for you to get out of that big house with this upstairs that you have trouble getting upstairs. No, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about myself. So you've got your upstairs, and maybe you want to go to a good old-fashioned ranch style or something like that. It might be a good time to do it. You can do it. I don't know that price is going to get any cheaper. Let's look at that one more time to see. What does that trend suggest to us? It's not written in stone. But what does it say? What does it tend to say? Where do you have any better place to bet your money? All right, I got one more place I want to show you. We're talking about data for real estate. Remember this? This is Benchmark Realty. This is my personal webpage. You see me down there in the bottom. If I make my little fat head go away, there I am, my little thing. You can talk to me if you want to. There I am once again. But we want to come across here. We have a couple of different things. You see, this is Cannon County. We had to rebuild this recently. If you were with me back then, you know it went dead for a while. It took me a while to get it back up. But we have Cannon County, Coffee County, Bedford, Rutherford. Now, if you're looking where I live in the Rutherford County, we can look at the entire county and then compare it to maybe, say, one of the outlying areas. We see that our average sales price went up. Yep, we did kind of come down there in 22, but we still, if you just hold the fort, are way on a rise, looks like. Days on the market kind of jumped up there a little bit when we had some higher rates, I think it was, but it's pretty well much going cyclic ever since. And it didn't stop how the world works just because the Fed changed the cost of money. All right, but let's look at it. Sales price. You see, we're definitely going up. And let's look at days on market where we are. If we put our little Parker right there in between the dots, it shows our median days on market closed was 11:14 for days on market. Median list to close, that's the whole process looks like, a little over a month. Gosh, that's still not a whole lot. Go back up to Rutherford. Let's find out how Rockville's real estate market is looking to us. It's going to load up. We're going to check those same days on market, assuming that the server will give it to us. Now, where are we over here? Let's get in between the dots. Remember, if you step on the line, you get the one dot. Go in between the line, and we see the median list to close was 130. Not quite twice as much there, but that's still pretty good. What is the costing doing? Pricing ratios. There we are. Looks like they're holding pretty steady in Rockville. Well, let's check Eagleville, another highly sought out area. Bring it up. It more or less kind of looks like the center. Could we be having something very similar to what we see in the greater Nashville area, that where the urban center is, we see something a little bit different than we go in the surrounding area, that we get a little higher growth rate and perhaps a little bit more volatility? Well, let's go back and look at that. Let's pull up Murfreesboro, the city of. There we go. Go back to look at it. Look how we see it a little bit more steady on the average sales price. Closed days on market looks a little bit more steady. Where are we going on our price per square foot? Let's compare Murfreesboro. It's $226,000 per square feet. Go out to Rockville. They've built some new stuff out there. Might have some old stuff. Its price per square foot. Pull up into the screen. Price per square foot. Looks like it is around, median is still going to be around, my eyes will focus, $199. Even the highest, the average at the $214 at higher. So it's still a little bit cheaper, perhaps, according to the data, to live in the outer rings. Just kind of what we see happening in Davidson County. It's a little cheaper the further out you go from the urban center. A little less density. Might drive a little more to work if you don't work from home, but there you have it. All right, so I think we've beat this dead horse today. We've looked at the greater Nashville area and Nashville. We've looked at then Tennessee as a whole, and then we looked at our local market around Rutherford County, a few of the counties. You see what we've got. There we go, from medium to big and to little. You get you an idea. Real estate's holding up pretty well in Tennessee. Is it a good time to buy or sell? I don't see anything collapsing, not in the recent past. It's up to you. It's your money, your life, your decision. But if things continue like they historically have, they're just going to go up. And if you buy now or sell now, you lock that price in and get her done, and you can move on with your life. So let's look at our weekly numbers. Hello, I'm Delbridge of Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If you are currently unrepresented and would like to know how to compare up to 3 properties side by side and room by room, then go over to my new YouTube channel, CallDelToSell. That's 1 L and Del, no spaces. Watch the demo on Real Scout, and then call me and we'll set up your exclusive ad-free account today. Alrighty. Last week of the 23rd, January 2025, we had 22,285 opportunities in Real Scout system. We had 3,396 in the under contract still showing, and the ratio between them on integer level was 15%, and all 3 of those numbers increased last week. This week, 130.25, the last Thursday we'll have this month, we had 22,369 in the opportunities. That's up over the previous period. 3641 in the under contract still showing. The ratio went to 16%, and all of those also went up over the previous period. They're trending up. Now remember, we're going to be moving from our January and February to our April. We're only about 60 days away. Give it something less than 90, because February is going to be a short month. That's about how far we are away from our biggest month, our highest peak period, which is typically around the 3rd week of April. So you don't want to fiddle around and miss out where you're bound by the clock, where you get whistle bit. So you know what you got to do. You got to call me. You got to email me. We got to do something. We'll get you on. We'll get you going. Something's going to happen. All right. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching.